Hey, what is up guys, Ron here, welcome to another Comic Book Friday, and today we're gonna talk about, well, the first book out of 3 of this little thing. That's a card, but that's a card from the 3 Jokers. I finally read that book 1, and let me tell you, I think, wow, and first of all, let's talk about the card, because I know right now, already it's been released, the book number 2, and they are doing all 3 cards. For every single one, you're going to have a card with that. Second one is with Barbara Gordon, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, it's going to be cool to have a collection, but get those top loaders, because those cards are getting valuable, right? I'm maybe not grading them, but they are getting some value. So, if you're collecting cards, that is a cool feature right there. So, you want to have it, but the creme de la creme, you might say. This is the book that we're going to talk today. Of course, that is a variant cover. All my 3 books that I've ordered do have a variant cover because I preferred that than the original one. So, the 3 Jokers. The story from, well, the DC Black Label. And for those who don't know the Black Label, those are the books that are books. Those are the stories from that where are self-contained, right? So you have a start and finish there. There are no tie-ins, and they're supposed to be darker. They're supposed to be more mature, right? Kind of like Max comics for Marvel, way back, right? When you had the plus 18, the mature content. I believe there was Max Wolverine, like coming back to LA, and many others. And those books are supposed to be kind of like that, right? So we got Batman Damned, we got Lex Luthor there. I believe Harley Quinn was also a book. We got the Joker book, right? And now it's slowly coming out. December is going to be the last month of this book. It is the 3 Jokers, and let me tell you, it does live up to the Black Label. I'm surprised you don't see, like, plus 18 everywhere. I mean, there's no like graphic stuff there technically, but it is dark. I mean, honestly, when I finished the book, I went to Kovac and I just said one thing, and again, this is an explicit language that I'm going to use, so just be aware. I just went and said, this is a heavy shit. Like, literally, that's what I said to Kovac, because I was floored. I mean, I kind of, spoiled myself a bit of the ending where, what Joker says to the Red Hood. But the story itself, my goodness, I mean, the idea of that, right? It's just incredible. So, let's just start it, right? Let's start from the beginning, and we're just gonna move on slowly. Maybe not page by page, because I don't want to, leave you spoiled a bit. But the beginning is what it just gets you. It just gets you, right? You have a Batman riding into Wayne Manor, just destroying with a Batmobile, right? How do you call it? It's not. Oh wait. Markers. That's how we call it. I kind of forgot about that. I won't say tombstones. There we go. He destroys the markers of his parents' grave, and well, he's bleeding, he's like barely moving, right? It's dark, gloomy colors, like it sets the tone. It's like, okay, this is gonna be this type of stories, right? Now, maybe closer to a long Halloween. And you get to this fantastic shot of course, we've got the Wayne, the Batcave, and all those trophies, especially the Joker trophies right over here, right? You see the fish, all those things, and all those things that it's worth to remember this panel, especially this one. Like, I haven't noticed, so you see, like, I read the book and I haven't noticed that I have to remember this little panel, because there is a reference kind of to that later on. I just thought about it, like, that's genius. That is genius. So, of course, we got the first look of the Batman and how scarred he is. I don't know if you can tell, but you can clearly tell all the scars that, well, honestly, if that's what I like about this book, this portrayal of Batman. It's like, this is not a guy who is like always perfect, right? Perfect body, everything. There were some stuff that happened to him throughout the years that, well, he has to have scars, right? So whenever, comic artist portrays Batman without a shirt, just like without anything, without any scar whatsoever, I'm like, that it's cool, right? You know, but it's not kind of how it would be. And this comic book just tells you that. And you literally got panels before we even see the face of Bruce Wayne, panel by panel, right? We got a broken back by the Bane. We've got a huge scar from the Riddler. We've got a chest scars from the Catwoman. I mean, this goes on and on and on. Look at that. This literally goes on and on and on. Every single thing, right? We've got Killer Croc. We've got, you know, scarecrows just stabbing the Batman over here. I just have to do like that. You know, we got just guns shooting at him. And we've got, of course, a lot of Joker. And again, you know, the acid sprays, the fishes, you know, all of that is just pretty good. And then after that, after all of that, you know, he reminds himself of like, okay, I've went through all of that, all those scars. That's kind of, you know, the thing. There are scars that you can make to us, but there are some that will never heal. And I think that has a huge, I would say motto, but that's like a motif, right, of this whole book. And you'll see, you know, just many characters, many, 3 in total. The magic number 3, just going back in their past, and something from the past just still in their head, slowly. So here we know, of course. Oh no, alright, so yeah, it stopped for a second. I do apologize, it stopped for a second. So here we know, of course, the Batman scar is, you know, death of his parents, you know, by Joe Chill. He killed them, right? But also all those battles, especially against the Joker, right? You know, they left not only the marks on his body, but also right here in his brain. Like whenever he hears Joker, like he knows something bad is gonna happen. And with that, we got the first glance, we got the first look of the Bruce Wayne with all those scars represented, right, the chest and everything. Of course, we're going back to the Joe Chill part. I mean, when I because there's not a lot of text to that point. But that's what I enjoy about this book. You don't have to have a text to have a great story. And that's what many artists, especially the new ones, right? The younger artists keep forgetting. The writers, the same way, right? Just, you can put the good story panel by panel without saying a single word. The art can speak for themselves, but the art has to be good. So that's kind of my problem with a lot of Marvel stuff and a lot of, you know, a bit of a rebirth type of, you know, stuff as well. Like, I'm still reading the Aquaman, and I'm like, oh, there are a bit of, you know, moments like, you know, it's great that you're leaving, you know, panels without words, but it doesn't mean anything. Here, you know that from the first panel you see everything in the art is just meaningful, and I just love that, right? So as Batman's getting, you know, as Alfred is sawing him, we see the report in the news. There's a sighting of a Joker. The Joker started killing, right? And there is a crime family that first we thought is working with a Joe Chill, but then Joe Chill just said, you know, I was working alone. Now he's licensed in the Blackgate. And well, the Joker, if you remember from the comic books, he actually has a grudge against all the crime families, right? So this is also something I have to stop here. If you haven't read at least 3 other comic books, there are going to be moments where you may not appreciate a lot of things. So definitely, and again, those are like staple books, so yeah, you probably read them. If you're reading this, if you're purchasing this, you know, monthly, yeah, you probably read all the others. So Killing Joke, 100%. Like this is really important. Death in the Family, but the original one from 1980s, I believe that was 80 when they killed Jason Todd, right? So that one. I would also recommend A Long Halloween before that. You know, definitely might help, you know, with this book. What else? Like I'm trying to remind myself, because I thought about it. Yeah, I think those 3, especially the first 2, right? So the Killing Joke and the Death in the Family, because like in this book in particular, they are kind of important, right? So the Joker, doesn't really like those families, and well, we hear in the news the Joker killed. This family, but he left a witness. There is an eyewitness that knows that this is a Joker, that tells us that this is a Joker. That is number one, what Batman hears, what Batman sees in the news, right? One of the crime families dead. One eyewitness is here, and he says that was the Joker. Why he left the eyewitness? I mean, that's a Joker, right? He would literally kill everyone, like murder everyone. But he left eyewitness, and then from that panel, we jump straight into Barbara Gordon, and she's on a treadmill working out, and she's hearing the other news, right? And the other news, of course, at first is a commercial that, well, your legs are hurting, then you have to have this, and just a regular commercial for pill or whatever that you take, and well, your legs are fine. And we know that she's running so fast, that she's training so hard that she even can break a treadmill, which we have right here in the last panel of the book. Again, one thing also to notice, the layout of the panels reminds me a lot of Watchmen. We got a layout of 9. Sometimes it breaks into different ones when there's something important. It breaks into, like here, right? There's something important going on here, so it breaks a bit of a pattern. But we have a 9s, which is quite interesting thing the artist done, right? We got, of course, Jeff Jones, Jason Fabek, and Brad Anderson. So Jeff Jones, I mean, kind of known for doing that, but it's really interesting that they've used those panels to drive the story and to break them when there's a need, which is more action driven. I like that, right? I like that because with 9 you can get a bit more glimpses of what is happening. So of course, Barbara Gordon, if you haven't read The Killing Joke, there is a throwback to that, right? So we see the second, this is the Joker, of course, and this is scene by scene from The Killing Joke. She's looking at her scars, right? Because he shot her, if you remember from The Killing Joke, and she asks why. To prove a point. Here's crime. Right, so we've got that. So this is again another person that was hurt by the Joker. So we got a Batman, we got Barbara Gordon. Who's the third person? Of course, this is no secret that from here we jump straight into one of my favorite characters, the Red Hood. And the Red Hood at this point goes for Joker since the Joker escaped from Arkham, right, from Blackgate. So he's on the hunt for Joker for at least a week right now. He's just going from place to place, trying to gather information, right, just beating up his thugs to get that data, right, like, where is the Joker, where is he, which Batman and Barbara are not doing at this point right now. So Jason Todd, of course, the Red Hood, he's alone on the hunt. But now this changes, right? We know Joker killed, we know we have decided, right, we got a witness, so what is going to happen next? Of course, Jason Todd is beating up on the Joker, but at some point, one of the thugs hitting him in the face, loses his mask, and, well, he's laying down on the ground. What does remind him of? I think it reminds him of Death in the Family, where the Joker with a crowbar literally, I mean, killed him, but, well, not actually, right, but almost killed him, right? And this is really, really important. That's why I say especially The Killing Joke and the Death in the Family, because of those references, because that those emotions that those characters have during those stories, they carry over. And let me tell you, even when I'm, saying that right now, just going, kind of page by page, I have chills, right? Because this is so important. And when I was reading those books for the first time, right, like, they got me floored. I was like, oh wow. And here we got even darker take on it, right? So of course, we got this overcoming the odds, right, getting the Joker, and we've learned that there is something happening as well, that there was, of course, a second sighting of a Joker, right? And, well, let me find So the second sighting was in Fatman's, there we go, in the Fatman's apartment, and he killed him live on stream. So he goes to Fatman's place, he kills him live on stream, so you know, you kind of can identify that is a Joker as well. So we got a second Joker happening, but maybe it's an imposter, because like those two things happen at the same time. And then after we learned that, we learned one more thing. Ace Chemicals. The place that has a chemical that turns people kinda into Jokers also had a sighting of a Joker. There's also a murder there. 3 people killed. 3 people killed right over here. And he put them in the clothes from the Killing Joke. The first clothes of the Joker, right? If you remember the book. So now we got a sighting of 3 Jokers. 3 murders and a mystery. Because there's only one Joker, so how could he been in 3 places at the same time? So at this point, if you don't want to know what's happening in the rest of the book, cut here, okay? Because I'm going to be talking about the spoilers for the rest of the book. Because like up until this point, you know, that was not a surprise, right? There might be 3 Jokers, right? The book kind of says that. So I'm going to conclude here, and I'm going to move on to what's else in the book. So, concluding, get the book, super good. Yes. I mean, I've been waiting for something like that. All right, that was the conclusion, 10 out of 10. Right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're getting into a spoiler zone right now, right? So we know that one of those Jokers actually grabbed an Ace Chemicals truck with the chemicals inside and ran away, by also leaving the dead body that looked like, well, him from the Killing Joke. And we got a first meeting of Barbara and Batman, right? They're debating like what is happening, and all of a sudden one of the guys, right, is alive. So they carry him over and they get him on a stretcher, they get him into an ambulance. But oh boy, they're in the ambulance. I mean, he had no idea, right? But they're in the ambulance. We've got one little fella. One little surprise, as you can see. We got someone strangling one of those poor people that got almost killed by the Joker. Of course, we still have in the 9-9 panel situation, really good. And the someone is, and look at that, we got the break, right? There's an action, we got the break from that. It's a Jason Todd, it is a Red Hood. Where is he? Where is he? He's trying to gather the information because he's on the hunt for the Joker for more than a week, and now he kind of has a lead, right? That is the moment where he's like, okay, that happened, there's a guy, he has to know. Batman intervenes, goes like, stop, Red Hood, don't. You're gonna kill him, his heart rate is over 9,000, you're gonna kill him. So the Jason kind of stops, explains the situation, you know, and they both try to figure out what is happening. Of course, they're not fighting against each other. But in the meantime, we've got a car. We've got a bit of raccoon and the car going woo. But I don't know if the car doesn't have blinkers, so there's a need of actually show with a hand. Where are you moving? Where are you turning? So here we go. We got the Joker himself, or is he? Right, so we got a change of view, right? So not only we now switch from this like really intense one where is he, right, to the really bizarre situation over here, a knock knock. I'm gonna move it like that here, because this is the panel. This is the guy that was knocking, and he opened the door. So we've got now 2 Jokers. What? It turns out that we've got 2 Jokers. Of course, we got more explanation from the Jason Todd on the right side of the page. You know, okay, like I've been hunting him for a week, right? He just explained as he's explaining. We now learn that, well, there's enough of chemicals to create the ultimate Joker, and now the mastermind, the 3rd Joker, appears. So it turns out that for all those years, they were always producing another Joker. another Joker and another one. And right now we're in the world with our 3 right now. So I'm gonna skip a bit ahead. So I'm not gonna tell you, like, I don't want to leave you with the end, right? I mean, I don't know if I should. You know what? I'm gonna leave the last 15 pages for you. There's definitely a moment, right? Because I'm not gonna, do the last 15 pages. I think with this panel right here, I can leave you guys, and the last 15 pages you can get yourself. But there's this one moment when the Joker reveals what Jason Todd told him as he was killing him, and this is the moment that changes almost everything, and this is the moment that stunned me the most. It's, again, the ending is dark, it's grim. It floored me how you can get, a twist on a story that's almost 30 years old or even more. It's insane to me, and how it was done and how it changes, like how this book changes everything we know about the Red Hood himself. Why he's being called Red Hood, what does it mean to him especially, right? That's why I've chose this cover here, because that's a killing joke, but also let's remember the Red Hood, that's kind of how Joker called himself. And what also does mean for Barbara, because this is the first time Barbara messes with a batarang, which is really important. This psychological thing, the psychological aspect of the ending of this book is so good. I just want another one. I know it came out. For me, it's gonna come probably in 2 weeks, just because it's gonna come with different order. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a bit longer. I think by the time it's uploaded, I think it's already here. But yeah, get it and read it. My goodness, I know if at some point I'm maybe gonna do those coming Fridays a bit differently. If you have any idea, leave a comment down there below. But what a book that is! That is honestly this year, especially this year, for all we have, right? All that is happening, the Steve Corino and everything, all this bad stuff. This is the book that we needed. This is one of the best stories so far of 2020 to me, and I think it's even better than I'm gonna say that than the whole Thor and Galactus story. I think King in Black might change that, maybe. Death Metal, haven't read that one yet, but from those that I've read, this is the book. I mean, it surpassed Detective Comics 1027. That I've kind of stopped in the middle, and I'm gonna have to reread it. So yeah, DC Black Label, you've done a hell of a job. So if I would have to go, the panels, the artwork, everything is top notch, everything is at its best. Even the paper quality, I know this is so weird, but the paper quality reminds me of old stuff, which I love, right? It's just the top elite level right over here. It's an elite level. So for that gets, I think that's gonna be my first, that book gets a Ravens 10 out of 10 seal of approval. That is a 10 out of 10 book. If, of course, this is going to be 10 out of 10 for you if you read Death in the Family, Killing Joke at least, right? And if you really like Batman, this is going to be 10 out of 10. If you haven't read those, it might be a solid 6, because you will miss the emotional attachment to the book. But if you have that emotional attachment to those previous stories, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. So what do you guys think about, the 3 Jokers so far? I mean, it floored me. It's a great book, and I highly recommend it. And it's cheap to get, right? So if you're a fan, get it. And of course, because of the spine that is like that, you can just have it on the shelf. You don't have it, have to have it in your comic book box. So you can have it on the shelf, which is really nice. And yeah, if you enjoy those comic book Fridays, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want more comic books, right, if you want like Comic Book Monday as well, or like, you know, midweek comic book or some comic book news, let me know, please. I want to know. But in the meantime, goodbye, good night, have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care, bye.